started. Okay, we are recording. So today what I would like to do, and sorry, Lauren, it's kind of similar to what we just did, but I'll probably start with you because you'll know how to start. I want to go through and I want to have you guys each share what is working for you to get coaches enrolled to your team and how you're getting your new coaches started. So the reason why I'm going to have you guys go around and share, because the thing that I notice that creates the most momentum in someone's business is having the confidence to have a system in place of, if you enroll a new coach to your team, do you know what you're saying to them? Do you know your process? Do you know how to get them started? Do you have confidence and boldness in that process so that you don't get in the trap of trying to pull them along? And we'll dive into this a little bit more, but I would love to hear what your guys' current process is. And then I'll help fill in some blanks and give you guys different ideas and things as we go through that. But Lauren, I'm going to start with you because Lauren is on our Diamond and Above Zoom. We have a Diamond and Above Zoom every Monday, and we have for, I don't even know how long we've been doing this Zoom, but it's for a long time. Yeah, and we talk about different topics each week, and this has been one that we talked about today, and so Lauren already knows things that she's working on and tweaks that she's making, so I'm going to put her in the hot seat and let her start.
Yeah, so mine is going to be more lessons that I've been learning. So I do have a system in place, and it's similar to what Christy does, because she offered what she does to our whole team. And it's basically sending them a getting started right email that has a new coach checklist through Google Forms that they go through, and it has all the coach basics, how to set up the back office, what Success Club is, how we earn compensation, just like the general basics of getting started, and then prompts them to send out invites. I think it's 20 invites. And then once they finish the checklist, they're supposed to reach out to me to schedule a getting started right call. And then on that call, we just go through any questions that they have, make sure that they have sent out invites, ask them what their goals are, or not. I know that Christy and I, we just talked about maybe not doing that yet, but finding out what their why is, like why they started being a coach, or why they said yes to being a coach, and then tell them to go post about that. So using that as like their coming out or getting started post on social media so that people know that they're doing this business. And then in that new coach checklist also, it goes over when the national wake up call is, when the team calls are, so that they have all of those resources. So when they ask questions, directing them back to the new coach checklist or the team page, so that they know when they get new coaches started, if they have questions, they can also ask questions in the team page. And then the main thing that we just recently talked about was not pulling them along, which is the problem that I have. Is I know that this system is in place and I've given this system to new coaches, but it's just a matter of them actually going through the system and not feeling like I continuously have to be pulling them along, and knowing that I gave them the information, I gave them the resources. And I can only encourage them so much, but not focusing on pulling them along. And if they aren't even doing those first new steps, to focus more of my effort on finding new coaches that are ready to run and are ready to actually take action. So that's where I'm at today.
I love it. And thanks, Lauren, for going first. So what she said is exactly what I did. I just put up the new coach checklist in the chat if you guys want to grab that. The other thing that I send on top of the new coach checklist, I also send when our weekly trainings are, like in a separate email. And the subject line of each of these emails that I send says save, so that you can share these with your future teams. So something we do as coaches is you always want to be teaching to teach. Basically, you're teaching them so that they can teach their future teams. So when I send the new coach email, it'll say new coach checklist, start here, save this email. And in that, if you click on the link at the bottom, it says save this for like your future team. And then on the second one, which is the new coach training, the National Coach Wake Up Call, the team training every week, and the team Q&A, I also in the subject line put save this email. So on both of them, in the subject line, it says save this email, so that I'm teaching them to save this so that they can give it to their future teams. So when they do sign someone up, they already feel equipped to know what to send. And that helps to break down that barrier of new coaches, like, oh, I can't enroll anyone yet because I don't know what the next step is. So I set that precedence right away that like, you're just going to do what I just did with you. So I love that what Lauren said. And then the other thing that Lauren said that I think that I have switched recently on getting started right calls is I found that I would ask them about their goals and they'd be really wishy-washy in their goals because they're like, I don't really know what my goal should be to go after the dreams I have for my life. So I switched it to ask them, why did you become a coach? Why did you become a coach? So on our Getting Started Right call, why did you become a coach? When they share with me why they became a coach, I'm like, that is so incredible. And I'll share a little bit of my story or maybe one of your stories about how someone on our team has done that. And then I'm like, okay, I need you to go post on social media exactly why you became a coach, because the reason you became a coach is why other people are going to join you. The reason you became a coach is the solution that other people are looking for. So I need you to go post about that on social media now. So one, I'm helping them to get their first post out and get over themselves, right? Second, I tell them their first goal is to get to Emerald and get to Success Club. I don't leave what their goals are up to chance because I've done that too much and they don't really know. And I feel like as a coach, as a teacher, we're just guiding them to what is that step. If they want this, why they became a coach to happen, because a lot of them don't know their vision or their goals, or, you know, if they want this to happen, their first goal is Emerald. Their first goal is getting to Success Club. And then I tell them why. And I'll re-go through what Emerald and Success Club is. 2 new coaches on a challenge pack, 3 new coaches or customers on a challenge pack in that first month so that they can qualify for the leads. So I will go through that on the call as well, but also helping them recommit to their why they started, and then sharing that gets that publicly out there. So that's the reason why I do my Getting Started Right calls that way. And going back to what the new coach checklist, at the end of it, it says to have them send out 20 invites before they get on the phone with me. And this is where Lauren was like, oh, I pull people along. And so to give you guys an idea, I have a girl, she reached out, she just got started at the end of May. And she reached out, she's like, my new coach checklist is done. I'm ready for our call. And I know, because I've been doing this so long, that they skip the invites. They do everything else, but they skip the invites. And so I messaged her back and I was like, oh, could you send me the names of the 20 people that you invited? And she's like, oh, well, I was going to wait until our call because I'm not sure what to do. And in the new coach checklist is a video on inviting. There's a script, and then it tells them to invite 20 people. They know what to do. They're just afraid to do it, right? So as a coach, our goal is to push them to get over that comfort zone, push them to push past that fear. It's the only way the fear is going to go away. It's the only way they're going to move towards their dreams. And so that's our driving force as their coach, is to guide them to what they need to do to overcome that. And so I will resend her, and I did. I resent her an inviting training, and I can grab the one that I sent. It's also in the new coach checklist. Let me grab it for you guys. So that if you guys ever want to send this, it's new coaches getting started with inviting. It's really great. And then I'll just send them a quick script. You can grab something from Ignite Your Life. And then I say, like, grab your list and send 20 invites. Don't overthink it. Your goal isn't to get them to say yes. Your goal is to get over your fear. By the time she sent her invites and we scheduled our call, she was at Success Club 4. She was at Success Club 4. And so what happens is we think that if we pull people along, they'll get better results. They won't. It's like statistically proven that when we empower people to do things, they get better results, right? And so Lauren and I were just talking about that. She'll have challengers that keep not doing the program. And she's like, okay, well, let me create a meal plan for you. Let me do this. Like, she wants them to get results so bad. And I completely understand her heart, because that's what I would do too when I started. I would get on the phone with someone for an hour, tell them all about the tracker. They didn't do anything. The next week I get on the phone with them for another hour. They didn't do anything. They tell me they were going to do something, and they just were draining me and taking my time from going out there and finding people that really were going to use this business and go after their goals and dreams. And so I had to start becoming more of an empowering coach instead of trying to pull people along. And when you set expectations for people, they like rise up to the occasion, right? Like Heidi, you're a teacher. You would never tell your students, it's okay. It's okay you didn't do your homework. It's okay that you weren't on time today, that like you were an hour late, no big deal. But yet that's how we're treating our challengers and the coaches that join our team, because we're afraid we're going to say something wrong. They're going to quit anyways. Just think of it that way. Just like the go for no, they're going to quit anyways. They're going to give up on themselves. If you empower them, they'll rise to the occasion. Right?
I think like going off of that, Christy, I was like thinking back this week, like when I first got started, I got an email from Christy and a thing that said, we are doing a 6-week coach university. This is when they are. I got on every single one of those. She didn't have to remind me every week. Like, you gave me the information and it was there and I just chose to use it. So I need to remember that. Like, you didn't hold my hand. So I don't need to like re-tag them every week that there's a national wake up call. It's every Monday at 8. I told them that. So just remembering that like the resources are there.
Yes. And I think part of it comes down to is you guys doubt your leadership. You doubt your leadership. You're like, I'm not doing enough for these people. I'm not enough. You are enough because you show up and you're doing the work. And those activities on the tracker, doing those is what makes you a great leader. That's what makes you a great leader, because you're in the trenches and you're doing what is necessary to grow yourself, to figure out that next level, to gain confidence in those activities, to have an impact. That's leadership. And to influence more people, we actually need to challenge them. Because I find sometimes I get soft, like I'm like, maybe I'm being too hard on the team. Maybe I should back off. And when I back off, y'all back off. Like, but when I challenge you to say, go find 5 coaches this month, go figure it out. Like, you guys go and like you step up and you try to figure it out and you're learning new things and you're growing. But when I try to coddle, and I do it too, Lauren, I do it too. I'm like, maybe I should be kinder, but I'm being kind. I'm just empowering people to go after what they want. Right. And so that's our goal as coaches, is to guide people to the information. Whether they use it or not is not reflective of your leadership. Write that down. Whether they use it or not is not reflective of your leadership. Yeah, Jennifer, we need to lead the horse to water, but they have to drink. Yes. And if a challenger is they're not doing the workouts and they're not getting the results, you just ask them, do you want to commit and follow the plan to get the results, or do we want to change your goals? Because right now the work you're doing isn't going to get you to where you want to go. Nobody wants to downgrade their goals, but you say it that way, they're going to go into a deeper level of commitment. But when they're making excuses and we just continue to let them make excuses, it drains us instead of just calling them out and be like, I get it. I used to make excuses too. If that's your story, don't say it if it's not. I would never say that because that's not my story. I get it. I've helped people that made excuses for years, and then right when they decided to make the commitment, they felt better than ever for making that commitment. Do you think you can commit to doing a workout every day for the next 5 days? And check in with me when you're done. Don't pull them along, but if they check in with you, you can, encourage them, empower them, congratulate them. So getting coaches started is the same way. Okay, now I'll shut up. I just went through like my whole process for you guys. So what are you guys doing? And maybe what are some tweaks you want to make in your getting started process? Do you want me to just call on you guys? Sarah, you're enrolling a lot of coaches. What are you doing? Oh, Heidi. Oh, did you unmute yourself? Go, Heidi.
I did. But I was like, I don't care. I can go next or not. It doesn't matter. I've been tweaking stuff because I can enroll a discount coach like nobody else, but I can't say I can't enroll builders. I haven't been putting things out there to attract building coaches. So I took all the stuff that you shared on Saturday, and then I shared it with Sabrina, who is my one working coach who wants to get back to Emerald. And like she and I like talk on a regular basis. My internet connection is unstable. If I freeze, just tell me in the chat. But yeah, no, I love just this and like everything that you guys said in the training last week. Like I have to be focusing my time and energy on connecting and adding new people to my network so that I'm like, before I was like part of it, I'm like, oh, well, people will come. Well, I can't wait for them. So I know that's not totally answering the question, but I just said about you. Like I remember when Alana sent me that stuff, I was like, oh, she's like, did you get a chance to? She's like, oh, you checked out. I'm like, oh yeah, I checked out. I bought all the stuff. I signed up. I'm in the office. I watched the share cart video. My bank account's all hooked up. Like everything's already done. So I love that analogy you said about teaching, because I do that to my students. Like how many times, like I can sit there and open their lockers for them every single day of the school year, and then they never learn how to do it themselves. But I'd rather just, I think like, what do? I stand there, okay, come on, like you can do it. Like, let's figure out what works for you. And then when they tell me, I can't get it open, Mrs. Maloney, like help me, I say, oh, I'll be right there. Try it one more time while I'm finishing up this conversation. And half the time, they're like, oh, we got it. Never mind. So it's more like empowering other people to take action and do stuff. Otherwise, they're just going to keep coming back to you and looking for that guidance, all the time. Well, what do I do now? Well, now I did this. Well, what do I do? Oh, yes, time for that.
So good. And I'm so glad that you have brought up two more things that I want to share with you guys. That was so good, Heidi. And the thing was, she said, you don't want them constantly coming back to you. Well, where's this? Where's this? Where's this? Which, yes. So what I do, and I have a new coach and she started texting me. I don't get text messages. If you're a diamond and above, like you can text me all day long, because I know that you've shown up consistently long enough to do the work that like you're not going to disappear tomorrow. Brand new coaches, no, I don't get text messages. And I know there are other coaches that would think differently, but here's why. So the brand new coach, she messaged me and it was about her building a website. And we know brand new coaches do not need to be building a website. They need to be doing the business activity tracker. I didn't have a website until I earned over $500,000. You don't need a website. And Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. But I messaged her and it was a Sunday and I said, it's family day. I'm with my nieces. I'm not clocked into work. Like I have set work hours. Such a great question. If you go post that in the team page, I'll make sure to answer it tomorrow. Or like when I get back to my work hours, which I could squeeze some in later on this evening. This was like on a Sunday. And so she did. She went and posted on the team page. And now she's posted multiple times in the team page because I directed her to that. So I don't answer people's questions. I always direct them to where the information is or another area that they can get it answered, because I do Zooms like this, right? This is my second one of the day, and this is only number 2. I have 3 or 4 today. And I'm pouring into people that are going to go use the information. When a coach is brand new, I'm not pouring into them. I'm guiding them step by step to see whether they're going to stick around, honestly. And not because they're not good people, just because so few people are willing to do the work for the benefits. And I say that on call number 1. Like so few people are willing to do the work for the benefits. I was, and I'd love if like this is a solution for what you want. If you're willing to do the work, you can create everything. So I'm always guiding them to where information is. If they have a question, the only time I am not guiding them to a training is when I'm explaining Emerald and Success Club on their first call, on their Getting Started Right call, because they have gone through a training and for some reason it's still confusing for a lot of them. And so I do explain it because I want them to know that goal that they're going after first. But I love what you said, Heidi, because however you teach them, and I'll even take it a step further and tell them the reason why I'm having you do this is because when you grow a business, to grow a business to the level of freedom that you are after, I don't want your phone being blown up by 100 messages a day and being stolen from your children. Like, my goal is for you to have time freedom. So by using our team page where we can all work together, we all create time freedom. right? So I'm teaching them that. And I know some coaches might disagree with me on this and might do their business differently. I'm an introvert. It drains me if I have 100 messages come into my text message a day. And that's not a business of freedom. And I earn the income I do so that I can create a life of freedom to be with my family, to pour into you guys. Like, that is super important to me. I don't want my phone blowing up by people that are going to quit tomorrow. Right. So I love that you said that. There was another point that you made that was really good, but I can't remember what it was. So I'll be reminded. Thank you for going first. Who else would like to share? What are you doing that's working, or to enroll coaches, to get them started? What's your process?
I can go, Christy.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. So I have been doing a lot of bulk invites and then just kind of sleeping through them, and people who follow up. I am still trying to use Teamsy to work for me. So that's probably my biggest struggle. I didn't believe that follow-ups worked until I finally started doing follow-ups. And then I had like 4 coaches who were like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see that. How's it going? I'd love to. And I was like, oh my goodness, there's something to it. So that right there, I mean, just seeing that was another reminder of like, just do what Christy tells you to do. And so especially for coaches who, I get a lot of discount coaches, mainly because I tell them that like I started seeing the real results once I actually started taking Shakeology, because I fought it for so long, and I talked to them about that, and I break down the process of, okay, do you go to Starbucks? Yeah, most people do. Okay, so instead of having just a coffee, you get a superfood shake with all your vitamins, and I break the cost down, and that's been a huge help for them. And I usually do this on a call. That's one of the first things I do is I schedule a call with someone, especially if they're hesitant. I actually have one girl who wasn't going to sign up, only started with a 3-month trial. And then I talked to her, called with her, did a few Zoom calls, and now she's getting ready to sign up as a coach because she's lost 10 pounds just doing bar blend. Like, she's just like, this, I'm a whole new person. I have to share this. And that's just one person that is actually like looking into coaching. I have a lot of discount coaches, not a lot of active coaches. So I'm learning on switching my invites to just coaching right now. That's really what I'm focusing, is just sharing the business and inviting people who want to do that. I've got plenty of discount coaches. I need to build a business. So that is where I'm focusing my energy. And then building that list constantly. So I think I've found that if I do, one day I create people to follow, the next I do follow-ups, and then I do bulk invites. It's a lot less stressful for my OCD of like, oh, I didn't do this. It's just like, just do a chunk here, then a chunk there. And so that's been working out. So that's kind of what I do. Yeah, I'm still trying to get people to actually want to coach. A lot of them are scared. So I'm trying to encourage them and build that up.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it kind of brought me back to Heidi's point. I love everything you're saying. And with your calls where you're explaining Shakeology, that's really going to build huge retention. So if you guys didn't write that down, definitely write that down. I think part of what we do is sharing our stories with Shakeology like that will help to build in better retention with your coaches. So then at least you don't have people, even if they're not builders, just having people go inactive when you're building to diamond, to 5-star, to 10-star, to 15-star. It's annoying. Like, literally someone can go inactive and cost $50,000 when you get to 15-star, right? And so the built-in retention is huge. Sarah, is such a key point, and you're doing a really great job with that. With your coaches, and I just shared this on the Diamond and Above Zoom, is you really want to be sharing stories, whether it's stories or posts on your Facebook, that speak to them, that kind of speak to their vision, that would help pull them through a fear. And here's what I mean by that. If you follow my stories right now, almost every day I'm sharing an income story, and it's not my income story, because people don't relate to my income story. They relate to the $200 a week. They relate to the $300 a week. They relate to the $300 a month. And a lot of people are afraid to share that because they don't think they're making enough yet. But when I look back in my first and second year, the reason why I attracted so many builders when I was just getting started was because I wasn't afraid to share that stuff. And so a lot of discount coaches, I still add them to the team page. I always say we have a coaching group, and people get better results surrounding themselves with our coaching community because we're just so much fire. Let's just be honest. Like, let me add you there. And I'll say, can I send you the new coach checklist and training email? You don't have to do it, but just to hold on to it in case you change your mind, in case you want to earn a couple $100 extra a month to get your hair done, or whatever is important to them. Like, put that in there. So you're kind of planting the seed for coaching. But think about in your stories, the reason why I post about income so much, yes, it attracts builders to me, but that's not why I do it. I know that'll happen. I post it because I want our team to see what's possible. I want them to be inspired to start showing up and doing the work and consistently show up and do the work. And so as they see those different stories of people in our team earning $200 or $300, then more people earn $200 or $300. You don't have to have a big builder in this business to create a huge team if you're enrolling people like you are, Sarah, because you can have a team full of emeralds and earn 6 figures. I did. Not saying don't push for 2-star, for sure push for 2-star so you can get that second CBC and all that cool stuff. But if you're building a business, if you're building, with coaches, if they all were just helping 3 or 4 or 5 people and had like a consistent customer base of 5 to 12 people, you could build a really big business. So if you're speaking their language, they like don't think business. I don't want a business. That's scary. I'm not a business owner. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not a leader. Whatever fears and doubts are in their head. But if you're like, oh, my team is earning $200 by sharing their journey, they're like, oh, wait, what? I could do that. Right? So starting to kind of share things that are going to speak to what they want and what's in it for them will not only help you attract more builders, but it'll help the people that are on your team to believe that, wow, that's possible. If all of those people are doing it, I could do it too. Because they look at you like, and you guys don't even think this about yourselves, but all the coaches that are enrolling with you are enrolling with you because they look up to you. They already see you as the leader that you might not even see yourself as yet. They're like, I can't do what she does. She's a rock star. I can't do what she does. And they kind of put you on a pedestal, right? So by sharing all these other little stories that aren't necessarily just your own story, they're like, oh, it's not just her, it's all these people. So yeah, maybe I can do it too. And it was cool because Ray Higdon sent out an email today and he was like, what would I be posting right now in the times that we're going through? He's like, curiosity marketing, sharing the stories of the people on my team that are earning $200 a month. He said $40 to $200 a month. I'm like, I want to sign up for $40. Don't even share that. $40 in a month. That'd be like, get to work. But I'd sign up for $200 a month. I would sign up for $200. So I always think about that. Like, what would you sign up for? I would have signed up for $200 a month. If I would have saw a $220 a week paycheck, heck yes, I was all on it. So think about what would have attracted you or intrigued you if you saw it in a story. But also why I post about coaching so much is because I want you all posting about coaching. So it's like so think of it that way. If you want it, not only if you want to attract builders to your team, do you need to be posting about coaching, but you need to be posting about coaching so the people you do attract to your team see how they need to show up. You guys are bringing such great content. Thank you. Who else would like to share?
I would like to share real quick.
Yeah.
Kind of more of a question, but I guess for the most part, what works well for me is when I send out my invites and, someone says they're interested, I send them what my coach Courtney made. It's like a little what is coaching video. It's cool because it just breaks everything down in like a really cute way. And I think that just kind of weeds out the people who like actually want to do it and who don't, because it just gives them an idea of like if that's something they'd be interested in. But I've kind of been struggling lately with like wondering if I should consistently stick with coach sneak peeks or because I know Christy, I think you kind of stopped doing sneak peeks and you do more of like a webinar or you send them a video. And not that I think sneak peeks are like a waste of time, but I feel like maybe if I was more on a schedule of just like sending out videos, people that were interested in doing it more on like a one-on-one basis, then I wouldn't be like trying to figure out when are my pockets of time that I'm inviting to coaching and like boot camps, if that makes sense, because when I have a sneak peek scheduled, I feel like I'm only inviting to coaching for like, the week before, and then I'm not really thinking about it other than that. So I'm just kind of wondering what you think is best. And then I also don't want to like abandon my team by not doing sneak peeks. So I'm trying to figure out how to like keep them involved if I don't go that route, if that makes sense.
Great question. Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought that up. So when I got started as a coach, all the stuff you guys see now wasn't around. And what I mean by that was nobody did sneak peeks. We didn't have challenge groups. We didn't have challenge packs. So like literally the reason why I invited to coaching from the beginning was because I was like, I feel weird just being like, buy Shakeology and a fitness program and then follow the workouts. Like, I don't really know how I'm coaching you. But when someone got started with the business, I felt like, okay, I get to teach you about the business. Here's the workouts. Like you need to do that so that you can post about it. Like it just made more sense to me. So that's why I did it the way I did it, where I would invite to coaching, send a webinar, and then get on the phone with them, because that's what my coach did for me. When sneak peeks came out, when people started doing them, I think it was like 2014. And I dove in. Anytime something new came out where I saw other coaches were doing it, I would try it. I did sneak peeks for a year. And what I found was when I did them the very first time, like I had 6 people sign up, and for the rest of the year, I had 0. And so what I found from the 6 people was like, they had already went through my other process of me sending them the webinar and getting on the phone with them. And then they just saw that I posted about the sneak peek and joined it. And so then they enrolled. But throughout the rest of the entire year, like I didn't have anyone sign up. I tried them again because I was like, okay, same thing. Like enrolled 6 people the first time. I'm like, well, that's super cool. But it was because of my other system, not from this sneak peek. Does that make sense? So they didn't work for me. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people in our Superstar Mastermind say that the sneak peeks aren't working as well for them. However, Holly Hillier, she does them, but she does them once a week so that she's always inviting to coaching. So she has a sneak peek every single week. I don't know if it's 3 days long or 2 days long, or how she switched that up to consistently keep those coach invites up. As far as like your team following, you can share with them whatever you're doing, right? If you're inviting behind the scene to coaching every day and then sending Court's webinar or video, they can duplicate that. That's duplicatable, right? So it really just comes down to what's working for you. Like if sneak peeks work, if when you're doing that every week or whenever you do it once a month, if that's working, keep doing it. Maybe you do it twice a month, right? If it's not working or you're like, oh, I'm being inconsistent, maybe those other 3 weeks you're inviting and just sending the video, right? And then the sneak peek is like it was for me when I did it. All those people I sent the video to, then all of a sudden, like it was a follow-up basically and got them enrolled. I don't even know if they watched any videos in the group. Oh yeah, Whitney said on a Diamond Train last week, a coach was talking about a 5-day coaching free trial. I have heard of those and I had the layout for one, but I don't know where I put it. I can try to search for it and see if I can come up with it. But what it was like the 14-day free trial. So they actually had to do a workout and they just literally went through and had to do everything on the business tracker. They were told to do it, like do the workout, post to social media about your workout, reach out to those that liked or commented. Like, so they basically, it was kind of like a coach training, if you will. Like they didn't pay anything to start, but they had to go through and do a whole training is what it was, Whitney. Which is super cool, right? Because then the people that do get started see that they can do this work and now they're already on board to like dive in and do the work. So that could be a tweak you can make too, Shelly. I know I didn't give you an answer, but, and the reason why I didn't is because the vitals are the vitals. They all work and we can all do them in a different way. And I know that the way I do it isn't the way for everyone, right? I've seen plenty of successful coaches build on sneak peeks. They just don't work for me because they're not something I enjoy. Just plain out. Like, I don't want to be scheduled 2, 3, 4 days of like leading this group. If you're in Real People, Real Results, which is a ongoing challenge group, I pre-schedule everything for the entire month. And sometimes I go in and love on everyone for the day. And sometimes I never get to the group that day. And then when I go in, the day after, I catch up on everything. It's just systematically for my freedom and for me to grow my business, what works for me. But
yeah,
it's what works for you. Don't worry about your team, like what you're doing. If what you're doing is duplicatable, your team can duplicate it. And if they don't want to send invites that way and send an audio and then get on the phone with someone, or however you're doing it, they'll figure it out. And most of my personally sponsored coaches do get on the phone with people because I get on the phone, but not all of them. Some of them never use the phone, and that's okay. It's still like, this business is still duplicatable, right? And they can find someone else who does sneak peeks. And oftentimes the way I don't build through challenge groups. My team is really good at building through challenge groups. My personally sponsored coaches, they do not. Like, you'll find that like they figure it out. So don't feel like you're letting your team down if you need to change something for your system. What's important is that you're doing what's consistent and feels right for you, because then your team will feel that energy. Is that helpful?
yeah. Sorry, you just cut out a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think I definitely relate when you say that, like, you're just not really like passionate about sneak peeks, because I feel like it's kind of just almost a chore, and I'm not always super excited about it. I feel like I'm just over scheduling myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I may switch to just like sending videos.
Yeah, because you can do whatever, 5, 10 invites a day, whatever that is for you, 20, whatever that is. You can get a group of your coaches and like, guys, this is what we're doing. I'm sending out 10 invites. I'm checking in here when they're done. Here's what I sent. Here's the video I sent for people that were interested. I put them on my follow-up list. So duplicatable. And then everyone can do it at their own time, right? And check in. So you can still make it a team effort type thing, just a little bit different.
Right.
And I know for me, if someone would have put me into a group, I would have been like, just give me the information.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
So, and that's different. Some of you want to be put into a sneak peek and you're like, this is how I signed up and I love it. Do sneak peeks then, because your people are going to love it. Right. My coach sent me the information and got on the phone with me, and that worked. Like, yes, let's get down to business, because I want to build a business. So yeah.
Thank you.
Heidi, I don't want to wait 5 days. Tell me now. And that's not to say, you guys, if you're doing sneak peeks and they work and you love them, don't stop doing them. Or if you haven't done them and you would like to try them, do them. I did them for a year. I give everything a chance. But like Shelly said, like, if you're not feeling it, find a different way. And not that things are going to be uncomfortable. I'm not saying if you're not feeling it because it's uncomfortable. If you're not feeling it because you're just like dreading it, find a different way to do it. Heidi, yeah, that's really good. Heidi says she's been really trying to ask herself lately, is what I'm doing duplicatable? And someone told me, I love that you said that. Someone told me in the beginning, if you had a team, I think it was Shailene Johnson, if you had a team, so she didn't tell me directly, it was on a podcast. If you had a team of 10,000 people, is what you're doing today duplicatable? Like, would you be able to do it with a team of 10,000 people? I'm on a Zoom. Could I have 10,000 people on here? Yes. Right. So like, that's how I thought, okay, I could do that. And feel confident in the way you do things. I think this was a downfall for me in the beginning, the first couple of years, is I did things differently than what the network was training on. I always invited to coaching, and they were training on inviting to challenge groups and transitioning. And there are 55, 60 superstar diamond coaches in the network. I did just fine. So, I mean, like, really having confidence. And sometimes I did a live video the other day in Ignite, and it was, I don't connect with people first. I just don't. I send the invite and I connect afterwards. It's what works for me. And I used to feel guilty saying that because people will be like, oh, we connect and you're gross if you don't connect. And I'm like, no, I connect in a different way, I guess. They're either watching my story so I know they like me, or maybe they don't like me and they just want to see what I'm doing. Either way, they're watching my story. They're in my circle. Or I'm going to their page and liking and commenting on things before I send the invite that's like genuine, right? So they're more likely to answer my message. That's how I do it. I used to feel guilty saying that because other people did it different. In this business, the vitals are the vitals. They have to be done, but you find a way that works for you and don't feel guilty about that, because the people you attract are going to want to do it the same way. And when I shared that video, it got a lot of views, more views on our team page than most things. It's because most people are introverts like me, and they're drained by the like insane connecting that's happening to invite someone, right? Not saying that connecting to invite someone is wrong, because Cassie connects to invite. I love it. She does it differently than I have no problem with people doing things differently, but be confident in the way that you do it and know that that's okay if it's different from other coaches. Sarah, when you have people who say they have other commitments right now and aren't sure coaching would fit, how would you encourage them to take the leap? Ooh, that's a good one. When I was getting started, I had a lot of people that said they didn't have time. And so I actually sent a video. I created a video, and I think you can still Google it today. Let me just Google it. Time commitment body coach, Christy Kromzer. Here we go. I got it. Ooh, pause. Okay, this is me like super young. Don't judge. Seriously, it's really bad. I'm like, did I know I was such a scrub back then? I still am, but like it was bad. So it's 11 minutes long. And I would send this, and it talks about the time commitment. It can be 0 hours. You could build this business in an hour a day if you're really effective with your time. You could do it in 10-minute increments. And so that's basically what the video says, but I would just share that with people. And I usually, because I was getting that objection a lot, I would send it with the What is Coaching audio, or the webinar that I used to send at the time. So it would be the webinar and then the time commitment. And that helped me cut down on those objections, because they would watch that 10-minute video and be like, oh yeah, I have 5 hours a week. Like, awesome. You know, we can start with 5 hours. And they would start just from that. They would start to piece in when they could do it. The crazy thing is, if you look at that video, it has 11,000 views. And I was like, why does, like, yeah, I sent it to people, but not 11,000 people. Like, why did it have so many views? And other Beachbody coaches were using it because they were getting the same objection. And that's how they were training their new coaches to not have, like, new coaches were having that hesitation or objection. And so that's what they were sending to their new coaches to get over that objection. Yeah. Does anyone else want to share what's working for them with enrolling new coaches? Or Whitney, aren't you like going 1 star or something? Yeah.
Supposedly.
Congrats.
So I was doing it, and then my husband's CBC was is the diamond that I'm building, and he was 6 PV short, and I just didn't realize it. It had slipped through the cracks. All the coaches were there. I was kicking myself. And then in the next week, I had 2 discount coaches drop. So I've just been filling in those dadgum gaps. So I think so. Should be. This girl has told me for 3 days in a row she was going to check out, but I think everything is in place. She should just be some cushion. So we'll see. But this something that is working, which I only have a handful of working coaches, but I think I was looking back on what all was given to me and things that I found helpful, things that I found overwhelming, which I know people try to stray away from that word because everybody says it, right? It's like that first week, you're like so many things at once. It's just kind of that, the learning curve of like, I think I looked at the Beachbody coach glossary was like a bookmark tab. I was like, what is a PV? What is a DC? And whatever, like all these different acronyms. But it's just kind of that learning curve of, it's almost like starting a new job, you know, and it feels like everybody's speaking another language and it takes a little while to kind of understand. And so I signed up with Courtney and looking at like her, like new coach starter guide. Like I've just been sending my new coaches exactly what she sent me. And I was like, this is stuff from Courtney. Courtney is who I signed up under. She did it great. I'm not changing it. Was just really upfront about that, you know. It's like she is like killing it in the business, so why change what isn't broken kind of thing. And that has worked well. I think I may even go back and simplify it though, because I think between that and then like Beachbody sends you an email with like a handful of steps and videos and homework tasks. So I think consolidating it and say like, this is the path, this is step 1, 2, 3, 4, rather than, because a lot of it is repetitive. And I know that it is good to hear things multiple times, just to like let it sink in. But I think I was a little too overwhelmed with like, I'm such a rule follower and like I want to check things off and do it in the right order. So I was like, okay, so what do I do first? What do I do next to next? And I think Courtney has even gone through this too. Like she was talking on our Diamond call last week, how she was wanting to really simplify things because like Beachbody provides so much training and there's so many resources. And I think the best piece of advice that I've been given from anybody was like, don't make any videos, don't make any trainings because so many of them already exist, you know? So like all of the YouTube videos that you've sent, I'm like, okay, bookmark that, save it for later. So really just looking at what I've been sending people and trying to make it as simple as possible. Just kind of, you know, these are the first few things to do. And once we get there, then I'm like happy to give you more resources and more information. Yeah, I guess it was Micah. She was saying that she just used everybody else's training videos, which I for sure have been doing. I tried to re-record one of my own, like what is coaching things, but I even feel like I left out some things. So I was like, I'll probably still use Courtney's and that's fine. I don't need to waste my time redoing it again. But it also, I think, was good practice just for me to talk it through. And like, that was a confidence builder, even if I don't ever send it to anybody, you know, just like, okay, what is coaching? Can I talk through somebody what I do? Just the very, very bird's eye view basics, whatever. So just thinking, keeping it simple. Simple is probably better.
Yes. And when I love that you said the part about overwhelmed, because a lot of coaches do say that, right? And when they message me and they say that they're overwhelmed, I'm like, all I want you to focus on is the business tracker. That's it. You figure out how to do each of those steps on there. You can Google it if you're not sure how to do it, post on the team page, but that way you're just getting the video on what you need to do to learn how to post or what you need to do to send an invite. And each day you'll get better at those things and more efficient and more effective. And usually that helps take the overwhelm away. Like, okay, one document to follow, and I will do that. Because that girl that I shared about, Success Club 4, before our Getting Started Right call, she was overwhelmed. And that's exactly what I said. Just follow the tracker. This is like your gold toolkit to your dreams right here. And some coaches do more and some do the actual tracker. Like, but it's doing that thing. Yeah. Simple is best. And same, I never created anything. Well, no, that's not true. I had to create things right from the beginning because there weren't any YouTube videos. We didn't have all the champions page. We didn't have all these tools and resources back then. We didn't even have training in our coach office. You guys just look in that thing. It's like full of, yeah, we had nothing. I'm like, but the crazy thing is I started in 2011. Back in 2007, when other people were starting, they had even less. Like they used to have paper signups. Could you imagine? Thank you. Congrats again, Whitney. That's so exciting. I do have a question for you though. So you're going 1-star, so you obviously are enrolling coaches. What would be your biggest tip for how you're finding coaches to enroll? Or how are you inviting coaches? What's your process look like for that?
I would say really like this entire month, I feel like my kind of warm, immediate network has kind of been exhausted, which is like awesome. Like I had crazy Success Club numbers my first 2 months, just because I think I had a really receptive group of people that were following me, or, you know, friends from high school or college or whatever. But I feel like that's pretty exhausted. Like it's people that like, maybe I added because I had met you at like freshman orientation at college and I haven't talked to you in 10 years or whatever. And so it's kind of like, hey, how are you? But also like, would you be interested in this? So it's like kind of awkward because like we do know each other. You're not a total like Instagram stranger. and just really trying to grow my network. And so just like kind of finding my different niches, like the mommy bloggers, because I have a 1-year-old son. So like, I'm really trying to push that like new mom, postpartum fitness. It's like, I've been there and that's so fresh and something that I can relate to. And there's just a huge, crazy, huge market of that on Instagram. But like you can get, I go down rabbit holes so easily. And then with my discount coaches, like I've got several of them that I think are interested just from like pouring into my challenge groups and things like that, because they're getting results and seeing how it works, and just kind of simplifying it to them. Like, you don't have to make this a full-time job. You don't have to quit your job. You know, like you can do this before work and at lunchtime or while your kid naps or whatever. Like my kid's napping right now. So just kind of making it work for you. Another thing I've been doing is anytime anybody signs up with me, I immediately go and stalk all of their like tagged photos and I add all their friends. So I'm like, if they're into this, they probably have friends who are too. And so like, I'll just start loving on their friends and be like, hey, I just got Allison signed up. You should totally do it with her. I know she'd love a familiar face. And like, I name drop like nobody's business until somebody tells me to stop. I don't know if that's like a HIPAA violation. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But yeah, that's kind of what I've done. And it's worked pretty well for me. It's like, oh yeah, so-and-so's been telling me about that. Tell me more information at the very least. So kind of helps spread the word a little bit more authentically, even if like I don't know these people, I know somebody who knows somebody, and that's what's worked.
That's genius. That's genius, because multiple things that I don't know, you probably already thought of this, but if they say yes and join, now it's like, okay, well, you should become a coach, and then you can become so you actually are helping them to see how simple it is to build their own business. In fact, like,
I've had one friend who would make the most incredible coach. She refuses. She signed up as a customer, but has bought Shakeology 3 months in a row. And I'm like, you could have saved $90. Like, I don't understand. And I've told her this several times. And she just sent me somebody last week. She was like, hey, my friend really wants to be a coach. Here's her email address. You should talk to her. And I was like, why don't you talk to her? And she's like, no, not ready. I'm like, well, if you don't want that commission, I'll gladly take it. But hopefully one of these days. She hasn't told me no yet, so she's still getting that follow-up every month.
It'll take her, she'll come around. So I had a person like that referred me people every month. Like, I'm like, girl, you're giving me so much, like my business is easy because you just keep referring people to me. And then the month she finally decided to start, she earned $2,000 her first month, because she had been like basically building my business for me for years. Right. So yeah, just keep taking the referrals and following that. That's so awesome. Anyone else? Jennifer, Kim, Nancy, Kimberly, do you guys want to share anything that's working for you, or any questions?
I don't know if this is, well, I stopped inviting to fitness, and I'm strictly just inviting to coaching now. And that's something that I haven't done in a really long time. And I have this fear that I'm not going to make Success Club because of that. But I think that, I mean, if these people respond to me and they do sign up, and I just started this last week. So I'm doing like 15 invites to coaching a day. Just coaching, and I have 2 people that have filled out my coach application, and we're in kind of like the process of getting them started, but they haven't actually, like said that, like they haven't clicked, yes, I'm going to be a coach yet. So, I mean, if they sign up and they get a challenge pack, then I made Success Club. Well, I have 2 points right now, so I'll make at least like 5, right? So, that's like my biggest fear right now, is that I'm not, like, I have like this vision that I should always be in Success Club every month. But I think if I don't, I think I got to get used to inviting to coaching. And that's like my number one thing right now.
My dogs are barking right now. So the one thing I find when people do make that switch to inviting to coaching, you can still invite to challenge groups too. Like, you could get in, some invites to challenge groups, but also when you're inviting to coaching, you can always default back to the challenge group, right? Like if they say like no, or whatever it may be, like you can, re-invite to the challenge group or ask for referrals, things like that. The other thing I would say, instead of being fearful, and I know this is tough because I'm this way too, because I was pretty much fearful of missing Success Club. I've earned it for 9 years in a row, and every month, pretty much every month up until a year ago, I was like, this is going to be the month that I miss it. And I'm like, I don't know. I just so fearful. But now instead I focus on the affirmation of like, I'm going to find the people that need me, and I'm going to rock Success Club. Like, I'm going to find the people who need me right now. And some months my Success Club numbers might be huge. Some months they might be lower, but I might find the people that really need me, and they're going to run with this. Right. And so by speaking those words of affirmation, like, I literally had no one in the pipeline in June. Like, no one had said yes to me. Everyone I invited was ignoring me. And I just kept saying that affirmation. And by June 4th, I had hit Success Club 10 with people that all just reached out to me. Like, I had invited them before, but they all just like reached back out to me. I was like, this affirmation works. So definitely start focusing on that, I think, instead of the like, I don't know, I'm going to miss Success Club. Nope, you're going to hit it every month. You're going to find those people that need you. You're going to find 3 to 5 people. Maybe they're coaches, maybe they're challengers. Either way, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And you can still invite to coaching if you wanted to like split it up and do 10 coach invites and 5 challenge group invites. Or for me, like, I post about challenge groups. It's not that I don't start challengers. I do. But those are just people for my posts. Like, I actually haven't invited for those. So I just post about it and post transformations and results, and the results photos work because people see what is possible. So yeah, I love it. I love that you're making a transition to focusing on growing your team. Because if you guys follow Katie Garbett, she posted her income recently, and you know, her first month and her first year, her second year, her income was pretty much kind of the same every week. And then she really started growing her team, and now her income is seeing that growth. Had she been doing that for 4 years, she would have seen faster growth. Everyone's journey is different. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think consistency is key because we all learn at different rates. But focusing on growing your team now is really powerful, because then in 3 or 4 years, you're like super confident, right? With growing your team. And it doesn't take 3 or 4 years. It can take like 3 months, but just saying, we all grow at different rates. And I think confidence, as your confidence grows, your team really grows. So like Lauren, I love her. She's like one of my dear friends, but I don't think she knows how awesome she is. So it holds her back because she doesn't see herself as like a leader when she does the work. She's an incredible leader. I would enroll with her, right? But sometimes until we believe that, it's hard. Like, those affirmations are key. Like, that you're out there, you're going to attract people like you that are willing to do the work for the benefits. Kim, Jennifer, Kimberly, do you guys have anything you want to share?
I'll share. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Sarah. I can sign up discount coaches like no tomorrow. But I'm a little concerned right now because things are taking so long to ship that like the next order is going to be coming up, and my new coaches haven't even received their first Shakeology. And I'm worried that, I've convinced them to sign up as discount coaches, and now they're spending all this money and not getting any products. So that's just a little concern I have. We'll see how things unfold in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully the product starts coming in. I've been stepping outside my comfort zone and directly inviting to coaching. I've got quite a few no's, but at least people are answering me. But what I'm finding, my question is, you're looking for people who have vibrancy and a love for fitness and are out there. But a lot of people I reach out to are like, well, no, I like what I'm doing. I'm not interested in changing. So how do you find people that are interested in health and fitness, but if they're already interested in health and fitness, they found something that works for them, they're not going to want to make the switch to Beachbody?
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you asked this one too. I didn't do any of our programs. I drank Shakeology and used our pre-workout, which was energy and endurance back then, and our recovery formula, which was different as well, P90X Recover, and didn't do any of the programs for 3 years. Like I was already earning multiple six figures before I ever did a program. And Beachbody doesn't share that a lot because they obviously want people having the total solution. But what one of my mentors, she was the coach number 1 in the network, the very first coach, Milan Jensen. She always has looked at this as a total solution, meaning that if somebody has a really great workout and they like their workouts and they like what they're doing, how's their nutrition? 2B Mindset, Shakeology, Ultimate Portion Fix. Rarely do I find someone that's like, I'm rocking nutrition. Like I rarely find someone rocking nutrition. And we have all these nutrition supplements plus our nutrition programs, get them started on that, get them results, get them to the next level with those things. So it's really like, awesome. I love that you're doing, like that your workouts are working. Yeah, that was, my mentor. She was training for Ironmans, love what she was doing, rocking Ironmans. Like she didn't have time to add any more workouts, but she definitely wanted to improve her results in her Ironman. So she focused on her nutrition with our nutrition programs and our nutrition supplements and shaved off an hour on her half Ironman time. Like so incredible. And she was able to help other people with fitness because not everyone's like her rocking an Ironman. Like most people just need to know what to do every day to get healthy. And she was able to have that type of impact and grow an income from home. Is that something you'd be interested in? Right. So yeah, and maybe somebody is, as I have found some people recently that are rocking nutrition. They probably could improve. I also find when people think they're good at nutrition, there's a whole nother level, but she just knows everything she thinks about nutrition. I'm like, great, let's get you started on the workouts and get your results there. Like I'm going to figure out what is that missing piece in the total solution of their health, because there's something that they're not rocking that Beachbody is helpful for. Yeah. And then as far as like the products taking longer, people know coronavirus, all that stuff, we're a really high demand company and with, supply chains that are under a lot of pressure, having less people at work, 6 foot social distance. I explain it from that standpoint. People, if they're doing the workouts, they can start getting results. Like most of the time people have already lost 10 pounds before their Shakeology comes in the mail. And I just say, once you get that, like you're going to get killer results without it. Once you get it, you're going to get even better results, and you're not going to want to have to push off that next shipment because it's also going to take 3 weeks to get to you. So just let it go through. And if you do use this for the next, and then you realize you don't like it, they'll still give you a refund. So there's no loss. Like I know you're going to get better results with this, and you're going to want to make sure that you have that next shipment when you run out. So when you have that kind of confidence with people, instead of being fearful of, well, they haven't received the first one, another order is going through, like they will believe in you and your belief in the programs, helping them get results, right? Good questions, guys. Kimberly, you said you had something?
Yeah, so this is my second month as a coach. And I've been kind of targeting the Latin community here in South Florida, just because I don't see a lot, if any, on Beachbody. So I guess like the biggest thing is Herbalife is what they really enjoy. And so I've been having to do like a lot of research on Herbalife products in order to be like, this is why you want to make the change, especially since Beachbody does offer the fitness aspect, whereas Herbalife doesn't. And so they're really into like the prices. I think it's because it's just not known in the community. Beachbody isn't known in the Latin community at all. I mean, I could say for myself, I'm very active with, the Latin community here in South Florida. So that's like the biggest hesitation. I mean, it is my second month, so I'm like trying to cross all my T's, dot all my I's. And some of these people are like hardcore fans of Herbalife. Like I even had this girl that I just met on Instagram from like cold Instagramming, whatever you want to call it. She's like, oh, you should be a distributor to like Herbalife. And I was like, I'm talking to you about beach. Like that's how like hardcore Herbalife like people they are. So I guess that's like my biggest thing, because that is what I want to target. I want to target the Latin community. My parents are Brazilian. My dad's side is Spanish, so I can speak Portuguese and Spanish. And so, and I don't see anyone, and like I said, in South Florida, who takes Beachbody to the Latin community, because again, Herbalife is so big, and they think that it's just like a magic. I could speak for myself. We think that a magic pill or a magic drink, magic whatever it is, like we don't want to work out. We just want like the easiest solution to get fit and, have the Latin body or, the fit body. But so I guess that's like my biggest thing right now is showing what Beachbody can do. Like I didn't join as a coach. I did the workouts first and I lost 25 pounds on 21-day fix twice. I did it twice. And I have 2 kids. And so like, we're very active with like moms and everything. So, I mean, across the street from me is a Herbalife distributor. Like she has tags all over her car. And I even had like a conversation with her and she started laughing at me. Like, she's like, oh, Latin people are never going to go for Beachbody because they think it's too expensive. Cause I guess like, and I was like, okay, let's compare my Shakeology with your like powder. And they have to buy 2 powders to last them a month, which equals a lot more than the Shakeology. So who knows, maybe I'll convert her and all her people. But I think that's my like biggest thing right now, if that's what I wanted to share.
No, it's actually your biggest opportunity. It might look like a big hesitation or objection or whatever, like we're all going to have those, right? But you have your story. Like you have I've lost 25 pounds. I haven't been on Herbalife looking the same for the last 5 years, right? And so as you share that story, like that story is the story you keep going back to. I started this not for a business. I started this because I wanted to feel confident in my skin, and I was going to commit to 21 days. And those 21 days led me to another 21 days. And in 42 days, I lost 25 pounds. And I knew that the Latin community needed this. Like just that, people were like, huh? Let me get those workouts, right? And you can and you will have to boldly say, I did these workouts and I drank this shake, and I understand you have your Herbalife thing. Would you put it on hold to get these results though?
Yeah, I actually did get 2 girls who were like hardcore. Like I drink they have like so many different things like teas and just so much, and that they have to drink or else they won't lose the 1 pound that week. So so we'll see. I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm very fired up about Beachbody right now. So, I just want to keep that momentum going. And that's basically why I joined this group as well. So,
yeah. And as you help them keep getting those results, you'll just keep building that like results catalog, if you will, like of all these stories, right? You're collecting stories. So now you have more stories to continuously create that kind of impact that you want to create in that community. I love that you know who your target is. Because I think that community needs strong women like you that are willing to stand up and like show them the way. Because they're not going to listen to me, right?
Oh, well, very visual.
Right. And that's okay. Like that's the best thing about the way our network and niching works. So you have that power to have a lot of impact and change a lot of lives. So that's super cool.
Thanks.
Kim, did you have anything?
I was going to say that I love this group because it's pushing me. Can you hear me all right? It's just pushing me to invite to the coaching opportunity. And I've had a lot of people like say that they're like actually interested, but they haven't, dove in yet. So it's just pushing myself out those, doubts that they wouldn't be interested. The thing that I kind of struggle with, though, maybe you can help me, is like not being the best coach because I'm not checking up on the people that I have already signed up, you know.
You were late. You were late, Kim, and I know you were late because we talked about this.
Sorry.
I'm just teasing you. Yeah, watch the beginning of this because we went through all of that. We went through that whole topic. So you'll
Good. I'm glad. I will go back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great, I want to answer you again because I'm so passionate about that topic, but everybody already heard it and they've already been on for 70 minutes. So yeah, I'll get the recording up. I'll get it on YouTube so that you can have it and like rewatch the beginning. And then if you do have any questions to follow up from what we discussed at the beginning of the training, let me know. Because I will say, I will finish with this and then we'll close out. Our job as a coach is to guide people to the information. And one of the things I was going to add before you spoke was if people say no to this opportunity, I'm not mad because I'm like, you're missing out. Like that's how incredible this opportunity is, right? I'm like, you get to get healthier, you get to be around really cool, awesome people, and you get to earn an income. Like what job says that? Oh, and you get to do it from your computer or your cell phone in line at the grocery store. Like legit, it's the best opportunity ever. And if you don't see that, I don't want to waste my time. Come back to me when you understand how cool this is. But when people get started, our job is to guide them to the information. And if we're trying to pull them along, honestly, we're doing ourselves a disservice because we're not out there in phase one finding the people that do want to do this. You're not out there finding the Christies that are searching for this and don't even know it exists yet. But two, it's not empowering. It's not empowering. And when you'll watch the beginning of the training. There's a lot of good stories. It'll be great. Okay. I know this was super long, but I hope it was really helpful this week to help you guys gain some confidence and in what you have to offer and the leaders that you are, and going out there and some little tips you can do, little tweaks you can make to really attract builders, but also attract good people. And if you're sharing those stories that really inspire them and create that vision for their life in your stories by sharing all the little stories from our team, they'll start to see that, wow, they can do this too. So a lot of your discount coaches can turn into builders, can turn into that builder that you're trying to attract just by you being the builder and sharing those stories. You all are incredible leaders. You're all doing the work. You're all showing up. I would enroll with all of you if I knew your stories. If I knew your stories, if I knew the power of this opportunity, if you were sharing so boldly that I could go through your stories and be like, wait, people are earning $300 a week helping people with fitness on the computer. This is real. Oh, it's not just one person. She's sharing a story about that every day. Like, how do I do this? Right. And so it's kind of that social proof of it's not just you doing it, it's all of us doing it. And together, as we continue to show the results that we can get with this business, we have even more stories to share. You guys are awesome. Sorry this was so long, but it was just so good. I couldn't just end it at an hour. I'll get the recording up and I'll get it over to you guys in the chat so you can watch it, Kim. Have a great day, guys.